I'm continuing my conversation with Jim Byrd regarding the program and the potential of that program and the impact that it could have, as these are re-entering programs, shall we say, of youth from the juvenile justice system. What are you planning to do to address the youth that are already in your program, that they understand how this is going to impact their daily activities at the facility?
At the juvenile justice facility?
No, at the Boys and Girls Club facility.
Actually, that's a wonderful question, because one of the things with our confidentiality is, you know, we accept people as they are. So integrating people would just be welcoming. But the training of our staff is key. And we've been doing, since last year, staff training in trauma-informed care.
You're using a term that I'm hearing more often as we're trying to look into the violence in this community. We're hearing the word trauma. What are you experiencing at the Boys and Girls Club? Given the population that you serve, do you see an increase in the number of individuals who have experienced some force of trauma? Whether a family member, violence, poverty?
I don't want to paint a broad brush, but my foundational principle, one of my foundational principles, is all of us, on one level or another, have experienced a trauma that has shaped us or has partially shaped us. I could tell you what I identified as mine, and it took me till I was like 30 years old to recognize that. So what am I recognizing, or what do we recognize at the club? And there are multifacets that come together. We recognize that part of the trauma that our children, our members have, is their neighborhoods, violence, poverty, opportunity, cultural bias, and also cultural acceptance. When I say cultural bias, it would be people's attitude toward one culture over another. Cultural acceptance is I guess my term, where we accept a low common denominator of behavior. We accept bad behavior, you know, or behavior that doesn't help anyone or isn't positive within the community. So at the club, what we try to do is set a standard. I mean, not a high bar, but a standard of, this is what it means to be a member. This is what it means to be together. And this is what we will look for. And these are some behaviors that we won't tolerate, you know.
Do you measure outcomes of your alumni? You mentioned an age span. Once they leave the Boys and Girls Club, have you seen any of your alumni involved in the statistical numbers that we have for the violence in this community?
Presently, or I should say since my short time at the Boys and Girls Club, we haven't had any of our youth identified or involved in anything. We don't have a good mechanism for alumni or post experience for our members, but what we do every year is called the NYOI, the National Youth Outcome Indicator. And what we do is we look at our youth, we measure our outcomes with where they started at the beginning of the year, where they are during the middle of the year, the end of the year, and it was really helpful.
Thank you again for joining me. We're going to continue this conversation because I'm sure we are all interested in knowing the impact that this program is having on our youth. I'm Dee Crawford, Community Affairs Director, WKBN.